Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Dissecting the Kanus. I think it's episode 3 or 4. Not too sure, but haven't done one of these in a week or two. So, here it is. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about, the big influences and the people that I look up to in my life. And really for me, as well as my parents, there's only really one person in my life that kind of inspired me, and it's quite funny really because my views changed completely about this person over the space of about 2 or 3 years. So that guy was my granddad. We never used to talk really. He was quite a stubborn guy, kept himself to himself. He owned a pub. He owned a football club, he owned a nightclub, and he was kind of like a businessman. And, I never really got to see him, and we never really spoke too much, he didn't, not that it's important, but he wasn't, we weren't really close enough even to, get each other birthday cards or Christmas presents, as some grandparents do for their grandchildren, but that might be an indicator of how we didn't really talk that much. But then unfortunately about 3 years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer. He was in hospital for about a year or so, and he coped pretty well with it actually, and it brought the whole family together quite a lot, especially me, my dad, my uncle, my cousin, and my auntie, as well as my granddad, of course, and his sisters who live abroad. It brought us closer together, and we all really worked as a team, and we managed to get through that situation in life, and we managed to beat cancer together. And then, as he was still a bit unwell after the operation of removing the tumour, he moved in with me and my dad, which we moved house to accommodate for him moving in with us, and that kind of changed my life quite a bit because where it would normally just be me and my dad living together, it then changed to me and my dad and my granddad, who was obviously at home the whole time due to his illness, and my dad was normally working from like 6 in the morning till 6 at night, and so I would spend quite a lot of time with my granddad. I'd get his food for him, get other stuff that he needed, go to the shops with him, go to his friends with him, walk him everywhere, and just get other bits and bobs that he needed around the house, and do the chores and that. And I used to sit down and speak with him quite a bit, and I really got to have quite a few really nice talks, and that then really made me realise how much of a great guy he was. And I think the whole experience of cancer made him really appreciate life, and instead of being this really uptight, stubborn old man, he was now the complete opposite, and that's a positive that came out of what happened. But unfortunately the situation got worse, and he started to increase in becoming more and more unwell, and then he returned to hospital, and they found out that another tumour had transported or moved to his bowel, which is near your stomach, I think. I'm not really too sure. And unfortunately, they discovered it too late, and they gave him a year to live, basically. He lived past that year, and we were all and he started to get better, in fact, although the cancer was still inside him. And then again, he got ill, and he would go through these stages like Hilly, where he would get better and worse, and then eventually he went into hospital, and he started to go a bit not right in the head, and he just wasn't himself at all, and it was a really sad thing to see that such a great man who's so strong both mentally and physically, who was such a masculine man, and he was so much about his credibility and how people thought of him, and he wanted to be seen as this strong guy who's you know it's hard to explain, but yeah, he was a very masculine man, and he believed in not letting into anything. He thought that it was best to take everything on head on and to work and to fight as hard as you can, and which he did his whole life. And then to see him resort to him losing a lot of weight, him starting to go a bit loopy, I suppose you could say, in the head, was very sad to see. Then a couple of months of him being in hospital, they actually deported him from the hospital, and he came to live with me and my dad again, as now my auntie, my uncle and my cousin had moved in with us to help us out, as my dad was working all the time, and obviously it was a bit much of to ask of me to help him out 24/7 at such a young age. But eventually a couple of months went by, and he was then bedbound. He needed help to quite literally get up and go to the toilet. He just laid in bed all day. He would lose track of what day it was, what time it was. He would start to hallucinate. He had like 24 tablets a day that he had to take, maybe even more actually. And you know, he got to this point where he couldn't speak, and this and then eventually I think it was a Friday, I went to see him, and my dad basically said, "Say your goodbye, son, because you know, the time's coming close now." And so I did, and I said goodbye, and unfortunately half an hour later he passed away. But I don't want to be seen as this to be a sad story and a down story. I want to see this as something where you take a message away from it. And with this story, it's quite, as I said, it's quite weird, as that whole changed over 3 years, and it affected my life quite a lot. If a scenario comes up now, I would deal it in a total different way to what I did 4 years ago. And now I have the same stubborn attitude that my granddad used to have, and I believe that working's the best option, and that, you know, you got to try hard and go into everything, get everything your all, and if you're not, then why bother doing it? You know, and you know, whenever I'm down, just think of the happy memories that you have of someone that may have passed away, and you know, that always cheer you up. Say as they said, and things they did to influence your life is always a very important thing. And I think that experiences like this are very important as well, and I believe it builds you as a person. And you know what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And well, yeah, that's my story. Just sad experiences, take things away from them, use them to make you stronger. And this is just another subject and chapter, I suppose, in Dissecting the Kanus. I'll talk a bit about the gameplay. This is a game that I played earlier. Just a demonstration of how the tactical defending, if you don't know how to use it right, guys, it does really become this easy for people like me, skillers, to play, and to not even have to put 50% into a game. I really wasn't concentrating too hard on this. And you think I'm a bad player, you want to see someone like Blue Tax or R9 Rye or something like that, you know, they would have destroyed them. But as well as the first half, I added in the 4 goals, I believe it was maybe 3 or 4 goals that were scored in the second half, just to make the video a bit more longer. But guys, this has been I'm Original Kanus. Sorry for such a down, kind of sad, emotional story and video, but thanks to all my new subscribers again. Please continue doing so and what you're doing, like, commenting and rating my videos. This has been I'm Original Kanus. If you haven't subbed already, please make sure you do so, and I'm out. Bye bye. I'll let the rest of the video play on. Enjoy.
As impressed as I was with the winners, Martin, I thought the losers really were a bit of a shower. They didn't stick together and they lost their heads and gave in too easily.